Hey, good morning, Teklians. We're back for our Sci-Fi Shoutout episode. This is another one of our repeat topics. We're going to talk about sci-fi, a bunch of different sci-fi shows that we like and we enjoy, and maybe give you some tips on things to avoid. What's up, Joe? Good morning.
Good morning. What's up, everybody? 13th episode. That's big, right? That's still another first. We keep having these firsts.
Yeah, this is the first time we've had a 13th episode.
Yeah. Teacup of the week. It's this red one. It's more of a hot cocoa cup, actually. But it works. It actually carries a lot of tea, and I drink a lot of tea. That works. So I hope you guys are ready to talk about some sci-fi.
You want to start with Firefly? I'm going to take these off. This is annoying.
I actually just finally, yesterday, finished Firefly. I've watched not hundreds of times, but probably about 7 or 8 times. I've watched from episode 1 to about episode 9 or 10 before like taking a break and forgetting to go back. So I finally finished up Firefly, rewatched the Serenity movie, which I have seen before, and I'm ready to talk about it.
It's been a while since I watched it, actually.
I really like the whole feel of like the universe that Joss, how do you say his name? Whedon created.
Whedon sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, Whedon. Yeah. I think it's Whedon, but Whedon sounds pretty cool.
From here forth, you shall be known as Whedon.
It was really cool how there were like a lot of times like it had that old, almost like a Western sci-fi feel.
Yeah, it's very different. Sci-fi. I'm not into westerns, but when you put sci-fi into it, suddenly it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then there were no aliens, nothing, all humans. That's it. Well, and, I also liked there was no warp drives. There was no warp drive, hyperspace, anything at all like that. It all took place in one solar system, which confused me for a while until I finally caught on to what was going on. Apparently, like Earth was all used up, and they found another solar system that had dozens of planets, like just dozens of them, and they terraformed each planet in the whole entire solar system. Which logically doesn't make sense because like the ones farther out aren't going to get like heat or whatever, but they terraformed all of them.
Yeah, so that's what always confused me. It's like they're not all going to be like same size, same distance, not same temperature.
Until I understood that, I was always confused. Is like how come they're never in hyperdrive, never in warp drive, or anything, but they're going to all these different planets? Is because they're within the same solar system, so they just have really fast ships.
Really fast.
But still, I mean, it makes it more realistic that it's taking them weeks to go within the same solar system than going all over the galaxy.
Yeah.
Definitely one of my favorite sci-fis.
It's a lot of people's favorite. It's been off for, what, 10 years now?
Yeah.
And there's still...
More than that, I think.
Yeah, probably. And there's still people, bring back Firefly.
Exactly. Although, I don't know. I don't want to say anything about the ending of the movie, so I'm not going to, but there were just certain characters we lost that made Firefly... were part of what made Firefly so awesome.
And also, story-wise, now, like I said, it's been a while since I've seen it, but if they were to bring it back, I'm not sure how. Or
yeah, same here.
Story-wise.
I mean, I guess it would just be them dealing with the aftermath of how the movie ended. Did you feel the movie was like a little bit rushed? Like the plot was kind of just like, we need to finish this up for the fans, and they kind of just... Because in the movie, the Reapers were a huge part of the plot. They were very important in the movie. And in the TV show, they were in one episode, there was one person that was a Reaper, and it was kind of completely different than the Reaper in the movie. Like, it was by himself. Reapers went crazy from being in the dead of space and everything, and the reason for the Reapers in the movies, which I'm not going to give out, is completely different, and it was a pivotal point in the whole movie and story arc as a whole.
I think it was probably rushed. I mean, they probably could have ended it in, like, a couple movies, trilogy maybe even, but... You know, when they cancel something, they don't have the fans' best interest always.
But the movie was definitely amazing nonetheless. So, anyone watching, if you have not seen Firefly or if you have not seen the movie, check it out. It's one of my favorite sci-fis. Chris loves it too. It's worth a look.
I'm actually going to go check it out again. I'm going to rewatch it. It's only one season. I only got one season, so go check it out right now. Pause. We'll wait.
Watch the whole thing though. We'll wait.
Yeah, we got time.
14 episodes, one movie, go. Oh yeah, and just in case you guys forgot, you know the deal. Subscribe, share, you know how it works. Subscribe.
Teklian Dance.
Teklian Dance. Subscribe to this show. Subscribe to us. Share it on your networks. Google+, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest. Can you do that on Pinterest? Share a picture of us on Pinterest. We're cool.
I think you can pin anything. Take a picture of this and then pin it.
There you go. Or just like pin a picture of a top hat and a bowler hat, and
Or just print it out. Print out the entire episode and then post it places.
Yeah, go to work. If you work like in an office, just pin it on the bulletin board. Nobody will care.
Print out every single frame. So that make a little flipbook.
Speaking
like Eureka.
Eureka. That actually has nothing to do with footbooks. I was just going to lead into Eureka with something unrelated. I was literally going to say, speaking of footbooks, Eureka. But Eureka was a good one. Now, don't talk about anything in season 5. That's the last season. I haven't watched that one yet.
Honestly, I have no idea. I mean,
I don't want.
It's been off for a while, and that was one of the very few shows that I actually started. That was probably the first show that I actually started watching the very first pilot as it aired and stuck with it throughout the entire. Most of the other shows that I watch have been after they're finished, or
Eureka.
A few seasons later.
Yeah, I started Eureka when it was its very first pilot, and I watched the first 2 seasons before I ended up moving, and I got involved in other stuff, and I went back later and I watched them. But that's another show where I started watching. It was like, oh, this new show airing tonight. It's a pilot for this show. I'm like, oh, I'll catch that, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I had it like marked. Do not do anything on this day.
Yeah. Eureka is just. It's so well done, and the idea for the storyline was also just well done. There's so much like time things that changed everything, and then like realities,
timelines, and
it's ridiculous.
The show had everything. It even had many references to other sci-fi shows. There was a Doctor Who reference in one of them.
I get that. There was a Doctor Who reference. They were breaking into like the CIA, or they were having Zane do it or whatever. And Zane goes, "What else do you want? TARDIS blueprints?"
There was another. Yeah. I remember they were talking. They were in the cafe and they were talking about some doctor that worked in global dynamics, and somebody said Doctor something, and Carter was like, "Doctor Who?" And then like Vincent was like, "Doctor Who? Oh, I love that show." And then they just kind of stared at him. I'm like, sorry.
But who doesn't love that show? Wait a minute. Why is Doctor Who not on our rundown? Is it because we've already done 2 shows on it?
That, and because we wouldn't have had time for any of this other stuff.
I actually already knew that. I just needed to bring it into this episode. I'm loving the Doctor Who stuff in the background, though.
Yeah, we got the stuff there.
It's always
if they've seen any of our other episodes, they can figure out that we give a big shout out to Doctor Who.
So that's another one. Go watch it. But what about Eureka was it for you that made it such a good show?
A lot of things. I think the amount of humor that was in it. It was very fun. There was always some crazy problem, and there was always some very creative explanation behind it. It was always related to like somebody was experimenting with a certain technology, and it was like very misleading throughout the episode. It was like something's happening, and this person's working on an experiment that could affect that, and then it turns out to be something completely different, and it's just like, and the humor between the characters and everything was hilarious.
The characters were very well done. There are a lot of different characters, and that's what made the show. Another reason it made the show so good is it's not like focused on like the same 2 or 3 characters every episode. It's interactions between all the characters, and there's different characters that play roles in different episodes.
It's not just this is the main character. I mean, you could say that Sheriff Carter was like the main character, but there were over a dozen main characters, and he's just kind of, he's the newbie in the middle of all of this.
And then one of the things that I loved about the show, too, was not necessarily every episode, but most of the episodes, the problem they were having, it was always related to some kind of scientific experiment. It was almost always a scientific experiment that is actually theoretically plausible. It was never something that's just like, oh, that's just stupid, that would never happen. I mean, they started doing a little bit more of that near the end, but for the most part, the majority of the show, it was always stuff that is theoretically possible, theoretically proven that there's a possibility it could be possible. And it was nothing that's just like downright bullshit that could not happen. And
there was always a good like explanation behind it too. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just like completely far-fetched, ridiculous ideas. And they had like some kind of story behind it.
Actually, you know what? Let's call this episode over right now, and we'll just go to Eureka. We'll do our episode from there next week, guys. We're out. See you later. Nice place to live.
Town full of geniuses.
Town full of geniuses. You know where else would be a nice place to live? Stargate Command.
I want to live on the Destiny.
Destiny would be even better. Which brings us to our next topic, Stargate Universe. Not just, when I say universe, I mean like the show, like the
entire universe of
the entire universe of the show, not the particular series Stargate Universe. Which you've heard about the reboot?
Yeah.
They the guy, I forget his name, who originally wrote the original Stargate movie that started it all, wanted to make a trilogy. Basically, is what happened. And MGM, after they gave him the first movie and they were holding on to the rights, didn't really like the direction he wanted to go. So they sold the rights to like Robert C. Cooper or somebody, or whoever, the people who made the Stargate series.
Yeah.
They went crazy with it. That's what brought in the majority of the fans, was the show, not the movie. For the most part, I think it was the show that brought in more of the fans. And now, Stargate Universe has been dead for a couple of years. You haven't heard anything new. So the guy that made the original movie proposes MGM, and now he appears to have gotten permission to remake a trilogy now of his own, starting over, a complete reboot. And we have, 15 years of Stargate now?
It's got to be over 15 years. I mean, you had...
Almost 20. 1994 was when the movie came out, the original movie, and that was tied into this universe, so the known universe. So that's 20 years of Stargate.
Yeah. I mean, like, the show-wise, like, from where the show took over.
That was 96 or 98, I think, right? 10 seasons of SG-1.
10 seasons SG-1.
5 of SGA, and then 2 for SGU. So that's 17 seasons.
But then you've got gaps, and then you had, 3 movies after SG-1?
2 movies, yeah.
2
movies. Plus there's the original movie, and they all tie together into the same collective universe. And this guy, because he's a little, tighten his britches about the fact that MGM didn't like his original idea, and now that the series kind of seems to be at a dead stop, he's like, I'm going to redo it my way. We're just like, okay, go play now, and there you go. I'm not happy about that.
Yeah.
But that's not what this episode is about. We're here
Roland
to tell you,
Emmerich. That's his name, Roland Emmerich. Who,
we're
to me,
is
he's the new Peter Cushing.
Yeah.
That's what I see this. It's Peter Cushing did his Doctor Who things while Doctor Who was on, and it was completely unrelated to the whole Doctor Who universe that's already going on.
And the first one got everyone hated, it got horrible reviews, but the actual numbers for people who went to go see it were so high because everyone was hearing, oh, Doctor Who, that's a huge show right now. So it got huge numbers for a number of people that went to go see it just because of its name. And then when the second movie came out, everyone already knew it was going to be crap.
Yeah, that's why ratings like that are so flawed, and that's why so many shows get. The way their ratings go, the way they're looking at seeing how many people are watching and everything is very flawed to how many people are actually watching it and how many people are actually enjoying it, and that's why so many shows will suffer because of that, because they haven't updated their rating system and updated all that based on today, on how people will actually watch and enjoy their stuff today.
Mm-hmm. But watch Stargate. That's basically what I'm trying to say here. You don't necessarily have to start with the movie. They kind of do a good sum up with the pilot episode of SG-1, but it would really help to watch the movie first, then watch Stargate SG-1, and watch Stargate SG-1 up to Season 7. And then once you get to Season 7, watch Stargate SG-1 and SGA at the same time. So it's Season 7 of SG-1, Season 1 of SGA, Season 8 of SG-1, Season 2 of SGA, because they go hand in hand. There's a lot of similar. They're taking place at the same time basically, and they reference each other during that time and things that are going on in the other shows. Yeah,
there's a lot of references. When they aired, did they air at the same time around that time?
Yeah, they were airing at the same time.
That's what I thought. Because I actually didn't get into SG-1 until I found out that the last final season had just aired 6 months before. And I was like, what? This show is actually pretty awesome. I'm going to check it out. And it's over now?
I first saw SG-1 when I was 13, I think, around 4 or 5 of SG-1. And we didn't have cable, so they were actually showing episodes of the first and second season. I saw it because we went to this cabin that my dad's best friend owned every summer, and they had the original Stargate movie, and we watched it every summer we were up there. My brother and I loved it. We would watch it. We were just kids. We would watch it, then we'd act it out and stuff. And then we saw Stargate on TV one day, just skipping the channels, and we're like, what is this? And I got really into it for a while, but we didn't have cable, so it was hard to stay on top of it. And then later on, I went back and re-got into it when I was older. What's your favorite series?
Probably have to be SG-1, just because so much happened and so much had been established in that series that the other two had built off of.
Yeah. I have to say SG-1, story-wise, I think SG-1 is definitely my favorite, but character development wise and the set and like what's going on, I would have to say SGU. SGU had like,
yeah, definitely.
It had like top of the line cinematic like filming. The
was.
character development was so deep, so real.
And unfortunately, that's what turned a lot of people off, was too much character development, not enough space battles and explosions and aliens.
And then they tried doing that later on in season 2, and it brought the numbers up, but it was too late. By the time they had all those space battles in season 2, they'd already gotten the axe from Sci-Fi and told after this season you're done.
Which pissed me off, because it's like you have to get to that point. You can't just find yourself on this ship on the complete opposite side of the universe. You have no idea, nobody knew this thing existed.
Yeah.
You have no idea what it is, where it is, how to control it. It's on autopilot, and has been empty for a million years.
Not just empty, but never used, even used. It was launched and left by itself while it soared through space.
With the intentions of the ancients coming later, but they ascended and abandoned it. So it's like, you don't just find yourself in this situation and say, oh, crap, well, let's go fight some aliens and shit.
Yeah, but no, that's what everyone was hoping for. Everyone was hoping, like, the first episode would be, them landing there not knowing what to do, and then everything onward would be them putting together 4-man teams and going through the Stargate every episode and having, like, a new Wraith or Gould or Ori, just a new main enemy, and that just isn't what happened.
Yeah.
The episode was, especially the first season, was so bent on that character development. It was so bent on that, like, these are the wrong people for the wrong job, stuck in a space, they don't know what to do. Their object isn't fighting aliens. Their object is to get home. Their object is to deal with each other, because they also have, like, the civilians and the military, and they're constantly at heads with each other. And I've heard a lot of people saying it's like Stargate with Battlestar Galactica just mashed together, and it did have a lot of Battlestar feels to it.
Yeah, there was a lot of similarities in the sense that they were on the run, out of place, wrong people, the wrong crew at the wrong time. They had those elements. The worst I've heard was hearing that Stargate Universe was like, they should have been called Stargate 90210. Which that one just really pissed me off. It's like you put these. Yeah, that's because of the drama.
Oh.
When you put this ridiculously mismatched people in this situation, stuff like that's going to happen. There's going to be issues between them, and there's going to be, I don't know what they were expecting. The daughter of a senator to just suddenly become like warrior princess and battle warrior and taking over the ship. I don't know what the hell people were expecting.
Like, even if it gets rebooted, which I'm going to hate, and even if what'll make me really happy is if it gets a new series, it's always going to have kind of a special place for me, because not only was it like the first sci-fi show that I ever became like obsessed with, like I am now with Doctor Who, like where I watched it all the time, I had to have every episode, see every episode. It was the show for me that got me into sci-fi. Like I said, I saw the original movie when I was about 8. I saw the show finally when I was about 11 or 12 maybe, and like, I always liked science fiction, but that was what really got me into it. Like, it always interested me. When I used to do creative writing when I was a little kid, and I always did stuff like that for creative writing, like science, sci-fi, or fantasy. But that was what got me into watching sci-fi, really being, like, dedicated to it. And that's why, for me, Stargate will always probably be one of my favorite, most loved sci-fi shows.
Yeah, it's sad to see it go.
So, there you go. That one, too.
Fun.
17 seasons, 3 movies. That one you can go watch now, too. We'll wait.
We'll be patient.
Let us know when you're done.
This is going to be a year-long episode.
But you know what? While you're doing that, I'm pretty sure there's an artifact that could help us stop time to, let them keep doing that while we finish our show without them missing anything, don't you think?
Oh, definitely. I'm going to go through the warehouse inventory right now.
Warehouse inventory. You have access to that from home? Hopefully Artie's not watching.
It's a secret. I'm good friends with Claudia.
Not the only one. So how far are you into Warehouse 13?
We are caught up. That's one of the other shows that we actually watch live. We watch it on Hulu. And Hulu, it's not Hulu's fault. It's Sci-Fi's fault. Sci-Fi's fault. Sci-Fi. It's they have for Sci-Fi scripted television, which is the very few remaining that they have. They have, you can watch the first 4 episodes the day after they air, and every episode after that is 30 days after its air date. But you can only watch them from a computer. You can't stream it to your phone or TV or Blu-ray player or any streaming device. You have to watch it on a computer. So those episodes I plug in my computer to my TV and we watch it that way. And then what we've been doing is switching over to Amazon, just buying them episode at a time, just so we can check it out the day after it airs. But we're pretty much caught up and waiting for that promised 6-episode finale.
Where is Warehouse 13 at right now? They just finished season 4, right?
I think it's 5.
They just finished season 5?
Maybe 4. Let me see.
If it's 5, I'm gonna be upset.
Looking it up right now. There's 4 episodes, like 4 seasons. I mean.
4 seasons so far?
Yeah. So on May, they renewed it in May, not on May. They renewed it for a 6-episode 5th and final season.
So it's like a half season.
Yeah. Maybe. They promised that to Eureka, too, at one point. And then they had to wrap it up. And they actually had to reference that in the show.
I know Warehouse 13, it's another one. This happens to me with every sci-fi show I watch. I get into it, I'm watching it, and then it goes on break. So I'm like, I'll start another sci-fi show. I never go back to that one I was watching. And Warehouse 13 was one of those.
Yeah.
I've seen season 1 and 2. And then season 3, which is where they very first introduced Steve Jenks or whatever, the one that can like tell when you're lying.
Oh yeah.
When they very first introduced him, and I got through up until they had their mid-season break, and then they went on break, and I started watching something else. I never went back. So I apparently have a season and a half to catch up on.
Well, you should get on that, and I'll wait.
I will get on that. Now here's one. No, I'm not really too invested in this. This particular sci-fi universe, but I enjoy it. What about you? How do you feel about Star Trek? Like,
I would catch Star Trek: The Next Generation every once in a while when it came on, and I'd always watch it. And it was always like really fun and entertaining. And they're all on Netflix, so I've been trying to like get back into them and watch them all. But I like same situation as you. I keep getting distracted with other things. Yeah. It's like because there's so much of it. There's so many that you to watch. And it's like you really have to like have nothing else going on and just watch this.
That's my problem right now. I'm going through Netflix and it's like Alphas, Fringe, Continuum, Star Trek. It's like, what do I do? I'm watching like 2 episodes of this one, then 2 episodes of that one. Then going back to this one. Then going to this one over here, and it's just crazy. But Star Trek, the beautiful thing about Star Trek is it's one of those shows where, for the most part, most of the series are like standalone episodes, so you can kind of watch them as they're on TV. You can kind of watch them as they come, and you don't really need to follow a set storyline. You don't need to worry about forgetting, something that happened in a previous episode.
But they do make references to some things.
They do. And one of the exceptions to that, though, is Star Trek Voyager, which out of the Star Treks I've seen so far, that is probably my favorite. I know there's always this big, huge thing. It's like, what's the best TNG, which is the Next Generation, or the original series? And it's like Voyager for me.
There's Enterprise too. Did you ever see Enterprise? It's like the newer.
Enterprise is good. That one by like Trekkies, according to online, is like people don't like it just because it didn't stick that well to the original canon.
Yeah.
Because Enterprise, that one, it takes place before the actual original series on the Enterprise X-01, which is experimental. So it's the experimental Enterprise ship, and it's like. If it's experimental, why is it already like cooler and better than the one they had in the original series?
Yeah. So by original you mean like Shatner time?
Yeah, TOS. It's referred to as TOS online, the original series, and that's Shatner time. And then after the original series, they had the movies, which is the movies everybody knows, the original movies. And then they had the Next Generation, followed by a couple Next Generation movies. And then Voyager and Deep Space Nine were around the same time, I think. And now they have the Reboot movies, which are pretty good. Have you watched any of them yet?
The Reboot movies?
Yeah.
I think one.
Yeah, they're really good. But Benedict Cumberbatch was in the latest one. He did an amazing job playing Khan.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of
screenshots
and GIFs and stuff with him in it, but I haven't seen that one yet.
I would definitely recommend seeing it if you haven't seen it yet. It was really good, and I really like how they did it. Because it's not like it's a reboot, but it's not like they're just like, all right, we're gonna totally, completely start over. What they did was they took what was happening and then went back in time and changed the timeline, giving them the free rights to like change everything over again.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a neat way of doing a reboot, as opposed to like the Stargate reboot. The guy just wants to start fresh. He just wants to start fresh. This is kind of like using
complete disregard for everything that everybody already knows about Stargate and saying this is what it is now.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, but there's a lot of Star Trek. So if you're gonna get into watching the Star Trek, what my wife and I used to always do when we had tons of things to watch. We were watching like Doctor Who, Eureka, Warehouse 13, Alphas, Firefly, Farscape, all of these different things. We dedicated a day out of each week, and we were like, this is Farscape Day, this is Firefly Day.
Hey, can your wife write a letter to Netflix for me and ask them to put Farscape up? She said she has a lot of success with letters. Because I know full well Netflix does not listen to all those online reviews people write.
Oh, yeah.
They don't go through there and read all those online reviews. I think if they get a nice letter in the mail that they're going to open and read.
My wife is a very professional letter writer.
Yeah.
I'll have her write a letter.
Because I really want to see Farscape, but I don't have Amazon Instant. And
well, it sucks because that's where we watched it. And they had it on there, and they had the movie, though. They ended it, and then there was a movie to kind of wrap everything up. And I think it may have been like a 2-part movie. Mm-hmm. So it was they put a lot into it to wrap everything up, and it was all on there. And then I swear, like the month before I actually told you about it and recommended it to you, they took it off because I told you about it, and I was actually thinking about watching some of them again. And
so it was on Netflix for a while?
Yeah.
And they took it off?
It was like very recent that we'd taken off by the time I mentioned it to you.
And you just mentioned it to me too, like four months ago or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't long at all. It was right around the time we started doing the show. So, and that really, I really want to see that one. I've heard a lot of great things about it ever since you told me about it. I've been looking it up. It's
one of those shows where it's like it's older, so it's kind of cheesy, but it was very interesting, and it was very entertaining. There was a lot of hilarious episodes. There's one episode in particular that I think was probably the funniest episode of theirs, and it was, I could tell you the character's name, but it's not going to mean anything, but there's the human guy who, he works for NASA, and he was working on this experimental project of creating wormhole technology.
And that's the one that's portrayed by Stargate dude, right?
Yeah. Ben Browder.
Yeah.
And
Black's in it too, you said, right?
Yeah, and it's funny because you remember the episode 200 of Stargate when they were doing all these?
Really good episode.
Yeah, there was a scene in there where they came up with this one idea. They were like, "Well, what if?" And then they go to a little flash, and they're actually showing, and they were actually recreating Farscape. And
oh, really?
They originally were planning that Ben Browder was going to portray his original character, but him and Michael Shanks at the last minute thought, wouldn't it be funny if we switch roles and I play the character you played? So Michael Shanks was actually playing John Crichton, and Ben Browder was playing this character named Stark. But it was funny because he was originally supposed to, in that little flash,
play his other previous role.
Yeah, but the last minute the actors were like, let's switch, and I'll be your character. When Farscape was finished, they actually, the writers of Stargate actually wanted them because they were fans of Farscape, and they were like, hey, their show's finished, I want them on my show.
Yeah, there you go. So this is our sci-fi shout-out episode, but fantasy counts for that, right?
Doctor Who's been blurring the lines, so why not?
All right, well then, what about Once Upon a Time? And before we even get into that, whenever I see Once Upon a Time, like, initialized as OUAT, I always read it as OUAT. Am I the only one?
No.
I do that every time. I'm just like, OUAT. That's just how I say it and read it in my head every time I see it.
Yeah.
I have to tell myself, don't say OUAT, say Once Upon a Time.
What? I always think quat. I don't know why. Every time I'm trying to type the acronym, I don't know if you can call it an acronym if it's not pronounceable. I mean, we're trying to pronounce it, so. But every time I try to type it, because of the U afterwards, I'm always wanting to type a Q. Q-U-A-T. Quat.
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 It's quat now. The Q is silent.
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time.
How far into that are you?
That's not that far at all. I'm 3 episodes into season 2. That's another one I was watching, and then I started doing something else and I never went back. That's how it is with every show I watch. There's so many I'm so behind on because I didn't have cable for a while that it's like.
You have a few hours to catch up because it's starting today.
Today?
Episode 3. Or not episode 3, season 3.
So everybody else, go and watch seasons 1 and 2 if you haven't already because it's starting today. I know what I'm doing when we get done with this.
I don't want to know.
That's
I could guess.
Don't please, for the viewers, for the sake of the viewers.
I don't want to have to up the rating, content rating.
Let me pull up some screenshots of photos I have saved and.
Yeah, but it comes back tonight, which means I'll be watching it tomorrow on Hulu.
One thing I love about Once Upon a Time is just that it has the actor. It's on the tip of my tongue. He played Nicholas Rush in Stargate Universe. I know his name is on.
Robert
Yeah,
Carlyle.
Robert Carlyle, yeah.
He is an awesome actor.
I never heard of him until Stargate Universe, but he is so good at what he does.
Yeah, he is.
He is phenomenal, and just for him, I would say check out Once Upon a Time. Just for he plays Mr. Gold and Rumpelstiltskin, right?
I love Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, and just for his character, go check it out because
it's so funny. Like you see him as, because like you and I were used to him as Dr. Rush on Stargate Universe, and then you watch this and Mr. Gold is very similar behavior-wise. He's kind of quiet. You don't know whose side he's on. He may be helping you, but it's probably not in your best interest. He's like one of those.
Best interest,
yeah. It's like, oh, he's being nice. No, he's not.
And then you see him, who's just like...
You see him as Rumpelstiltskin, and you're like, wow, that is a very different character. Like, seeing him as Dr. Rush, and then seeing him as Rumpelstiltskin. It's like...
And that basically, Once Upon a Time, for the people who don't watch it, it's about... these characters from basically this, what was it, like Storybook World or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, they're all the fairy tale characters and everything.
And the thing that I love it is the acting, with the exception of Robert Carlyle, who's amazing. The acting is questionable at times, especially the main actress. I mean, she's good, but that is definitely better.
Yeah.
I've grown to like her. But the way that the story is done, they took all of your favorite or least favorite, all of them, like childhood stories, and connected them. And have all these vines wrapping around them, going different ways, but they're all connected, all part of the same thing. And it's amazing to watch it all come together. And even now, I'm only a little bit into season 2, and I'm seeing that and loving it. And I can't wait to see where it goes from there.
Yeah, like one character from this fairy tale is also this person from this other fairy tale. Like, you realize, like, the Beast from Beauty and the Beast is also this person from this fairy tale, and it's like, what?
Yeah, it is a lot of, like, this person from this fairy tale actually knows and is friends with this person from this fairy tale. Like, there's something like that going on with the Red Riding Hood story, I think.
Yeah.
It was just so good.
They even took Snow White, which is one of my least favorites, and actually made pretty, like, they're actually used the elements of Snow White, and it's actually really cool. Like the dwarves. I love the dwarves. I love the story. I don't know where it is in the season, but I don't know if you've seen the story for Grumpy, his backstory.
I think I'm kind of drawing. I think I might have, because it's like vaguely there. Because I remember him doing something to help with setting up a festival or something. They're going to do a backstory for him or something like that, I think.
Yeah, I think it's later in the season where it's more of his story. It's more of how he became Grumpy.
I really don't remember right now.
Yeah, I don't think you're at that part. I'm not going to say anything, but it's like that's one of my favorite episodes, just because the story behind him is so amazing.
Yeah, so that's fantasy, not sci-fi, but that's definitely worth a check. I mean, fantasy and sci-fi, sometimes the lines have blurred a little bit, so that's why we're bringing it into this episode.
Plus, it's our show. We do what we want.
Exactly. It's the fucking title doesn't tell us what to do. We made the title. The title doesn't make us.
Exactly.
What else do we have to talk about?
Battlestar Galactica.
I don't want to do that one.
Battleship Galacticon. Did you ever see that? It was on Sci-Fi, which doesn't really make much sense. It was called Outer Space Astronauts. It was more of a comedy.
No, how long was it on for?
It barely even had a full season. What it was is these guys, they basically did the show themselves. Like, it was like poor animation, almost like South Park type style, where everything is like all like, like pictures. Yeah. But they actually had filmed their real heads and put them on the bodies.
That's awesome.
It was hilarious.
What was it called? Outer Space Astronauts?
Yeah, you can probably, like, they were short, like, half-hour episodes, and it was on Sci-Fi for a while, and then they didn't renew it. And I still follow them and look for them, because I'm hoping, like, I really want them to, like, bring it back in some form. Like, put it on YouTube or put it on Amazon or something. I want to send them a link to our self-publishing episode and be like, you guys can do this yourself, we will buy it. But it was hilarious. But there was the only reason I bring that up is because there was like the little trailer for like the next episode, and one of the characters was like the intern, so he was kind of like the goofy screw up kind of guy. But he was like, we want you to check out our new show. It's called Ghost Hunters. And then someone in the background was like, that's not it. And he's like, I'm trying. And he's like, it's called Battleship Galacticon. But he was like, it was like he was forgetting the name of his own show. Yeah. But every time I see Battlestar Galactica, I want to call it Battleship Galacticon.
Battlestar Galactica, that show was
intense.
It took me forever to watch it. I'm only 2 seasons in, and another one I had never finished.
My wife
But,
started to watch it with me as I was watching it, but she was like, I'm getting too much anxiety from watching this because it's so intense. She had to like stop watching it.
The show is not only so intense, it's so suspenseful.
Yeah.
They could set up for something in one episode and then build up 3 more episodes to it, and it just makes you sit there going, tell me already what is going to happen. I have to like tie myself down not to look it up on the internet, and it's
that was
a
a problem I had. They'd be talking about something, and I'm like, wait, I'm kind of confused of this. How is this connecting? So I look it up, and I'm like,
what did I do?
Just saw something I wasn't supposed to see.
I'm interested to see how it turns out. I'm loving it so far. I'm still kind of confused on the whole how a society that is so scientifically advanced that they have all these like hyperdrives and stuff and advanced spaceships is still so tied down by religion. I don't understand like how that happened, how they got to that point while being tied down by religion though. That's the only problem I have with it, is that one thing where it's like I've always seen religion tie science down, not help advance it.
Yeah. I had a hard time getting into it in the first season or so because there was so much religion and politics in it, and it was just like, this is not like sci-fi. This is a drama. I guess like how some people felt about Stargate Universe, but not really.
It was a lot. It did have a lot of like drama to it, but it was still very good. Did you watch? I know it opened up with 6 minisodes, which weren't really minisodes. They were each kind of like 30 minutes long, about or something like that. But they were. Did you watch those before you started the series?
I don't think so. Which one is? What was that? The one I've seen was called. Well, I saw this other thing. It was like little mini webisodes, but they were like maybe 5 or 6 minutes, and it was showing like a backstory of Adama, like when he was like a young Viper pilot. That's all I've seen in webisodes.
This was maybe they weren't 30 minutes long, but they were decent, maybe 20 minutes or something like that. But there were 5 or 6 of them, and it was called Battlestar. So I have it saved on my computer downstairs, and basically it sets up for the first season. It really quickly sets up for the first season. And then from there it goes on to the first season. And then, have you ever seen Battlestar Razor? Isn't there another one?
I haven't seen that.
I don't know what it's about or where it takes place. And then there's Caprica, which I recently decided to try and rewatch on. I watched most of the first season. I kind of fell out just when there were like 4 episodes left, so I never finished it. But that's another show that never got a renewal. Ended after 1 season.
Off topic, not really off topic. Back to something else. We actually have a. I just checked my question tracker thing. We have a series like Farscape. Just buy the DVDs.
There we go. Might have to just break down and do that.
Also, I'm getting a lot of extra sound from you playing with your microphone. You're ruining my life.
I'm flinching. I don't know why today. It's probably because I've already had so much caffeine, and then I'm like, I've literally had like 6 cups of tea so far today, and I'm like, oh wait, we're doing our show. I have to do my teacup of the week, and I could have just left it empty, but I decided to fill it up again, and now I'm like, caffeine. It's like coming out of my skin.
We also have another one. Also, pretty much Star Trek did it first as a sci-fi TV series. Star Trek is very important for sci-fi.
Yeah. Well, it really was. That was back in the early mid-'60s when they came out with the original series, maybe 66, I think, right? I'm trying to remember. And really, before that, there was very, very little sci-fi. Almost none of it in the form of TV shows. Most of it was the occasional really badly done sci-fi movie. And then Star Trek came out, and it was phenomenal. Even now, when you go back and watch it now, even with the poor effects, you look at the ideas they had, and you just go, that is really good. That is really well thought out of what they thought a future would be like.
They have everything in there, too. They have, like, origin stories and alternate timelines and...
Yeah. Yep, September 8th, 1966 was the first episode of the original series. And as we said before, they're all on Netflix if you guys want to check it out. They have the original series, they have Next Generation. For now, anyway. Yeah, Next Generation, Voyager, Deep Space Nine, and Enterprise, as well as a decent number of the movies. I don't think they have either of the new ones out yet, the reboots, but I think they have the first 4 of the original movies, and then I think they have 2 of the Next Generation movies, if I remember correctly. Something like that. So far, I've only seen the original movie and The Wrath of Khan. So I have to watch The Search for Spock, Journey Home, Undiscovered Country, all that stuff still.
They took all of Stargate off of Netflix, didn't they? Not that
Except
long.
For, they still have up there, yeah, they have the 3 movies. The original movie, Stargate, Continuum, and Stargate Arc.
Speaking of Continuum, that's another show. Not on here for us to talk about a lot of, but... Yeah.
We're going to talk about it because, like we said, it's our show.
Yeah.
And you're going to sit and you're going to listen, or you're going to shut us off.
and you're
in
going to
which
be
case
happy
we will
about
know, and we will come, and we will find you, and we will sing in your ear while you're sleeping. That's really creepy. that is really creepy.
Okay.
I could have said find you and kill you, but no, we're going to sing in your ear while you're sleeping.
We've established where the line is. And let's take a step back.
And we're going to take a step back. All right. You've seen more of it than I have, so I'll let you kind of give a sum up of what that show is kind of about.
I've only seen the first season. We have all the second season all ready to go, but we haven't gotten around to it. We're hooked on Breaking Bad. It's not sci-fi, but I'm gonna mention it.
That's another one. I'm only 4 episodes in. I'm getting hooked on that.
I did not expect to get hooked to that. Like everybody's all like so obsessed, and Breaking Bad is so amazing. And I'm like, this doesn't sound like a show I would be interested in. I'm such a sci-fi lover.
Try Walking Dead too. That's another one.
That's another one.
I hate zombies.
Exactly.
I hate zombies.
I hate zombie stories, and it's like I can't
addicted to that show. All right. Anyway, go.
Continuum?
Go. You're on.
All right.
This is live. Go. It's all on you. The pressure's on you. Not me. Go.
So Continuum, basic idea of what Continuum is it's these woman from the future gets caught up in a bubble where they go into the past, and now she's stuck. It was 2070 something, now it's 2012, and she's trying to go after these fugitives who plotted together to go back to the past to prevent like these corporations from doing stuff. And it's almost like she's actually like on the wrong side of this, like in terms of how we see the world.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff where like she meets people who are very major influences on the world that she's used to, and this time they're nobodies, and so I don't want to say too much because there's a lot of spoilers, a lot of shocks.
So far for me, the show is really good. I'm really enjoying it. And it's not something I dislike about the show. It's something that confuses me, and I'm hoping it gets sorted out later on. But basically, kind of in the future, it's like everything's controlled by the corporations. Corporations are the government.
Yeah.
And you have these people who are rebelling against the corporations. And you have the people who work for them. And when she gets sent back in time with like the people rebelling against it, who want to go back and stop it from the corporations from getting control, she's obviously protecting the corporation's best interest. That's what in her mind is. But I feel like there is no good side, because you have her who clearly you look at it, you see corporation is bad. You don't want the whole world to be controlled by these corporations with no rights. You say, okay, she's on the wrong side. But then you look at all the rebels that went back, like the fugitives, and these aren't guys who want freedom. These are guys that really want to fuck things up.
Yeah, they're like very like
they kill people. So it's like, you don't want to be on their side either. It almost makes me say she's the good one.
It's like they have the right idea of like the outcome, but they're going about it wrong. They're very violent. And they're being seen as terrorists because they're very terroristy.
Yeah, very blowing things up, killing innocent people just for the sake that there's bad people there too. And it really makes me say, like, I really don't know who to root for. I know she's on the wrong side. Like, she's on the wrong side, but they are way out of line too. Like, I really don't know what to do or to root for other than just sit there and watch with my mouth open like, this is good. This is good, but I really don't want to root for either side right now.
Yeah, I want them both to win and both to lose. Both to win. I don't know. I don't want her to win.
I want, like, just good rebels to pop up. Like, rebels who are doing it a smart way without killing and blowing things up. And, like, that's the guys we go for.
Yeah.
Like, there's no clear-cut choice. It's like, she's on the wrong side, but these guys are way over the line with killing.
She's brainwashed, but they're terrorists.
Yeah. So it's really, it's confusing, but it's so good that I want to keep watching to find out.
You also mentioned Fringe, which I don't want to... There's some things on here that we're probably going to do on our next sci-fi shout-out, just because there's a lot of things, Farscape included, that I want to talk more about, but you haven't seen enough of them yet.
Yeah,
so.
I want to talk about... I'm only 4 or 5 episodes into Fringe. I'd prefer to talk about our next sci-fi shout-out episode, because I'm really enjoying that one, and I really don't want any spoilers. That one is so good.
It is very good.
I haven't gotten too much time to watch that one because there's so many others, but out of all the ones you've listed for me to check out, that so far is my favorite one.
Especially
I get a lot of feel of like a modern X-Files mixed with like time dimensions and stuff. I get X-Files with time travel and dimensions. That's kind of the feel I'm getting for it. Mm-hmm. And I really want to see where they go with that, because I loved X-Files. I never watched the whole series. I kind of watched them as episodes were on, but that was one show growing up I just loved watching when I could catch it.
I was trying to start that too. They were all on Netflix. I have to see if they're still on there because they're getting rid of all this stuff.
X-Files was on when I checked about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's good, because I think I'm like 3 episodes in. Over the course of like 2 months, I got 3 episodes in.
Yeah, that was another show that was on for some time, so I don't really know.
I think that's another like 10-season show.
something like 10 seasons, and they have the movie I Want to Believe. So
I saw one of them in theaters, and I was like, this is actually really cool.
They might have had a movie that started it, maybe. I'm not exactly 100% sure. Yeah, there was the X-Files feature film, and then the X-Files I Want to Believe was another film, and there's a possible third film.
Yeah, but when you get more into Fringe, you're going to be even more hooked when they start getting into the details about the observers and who they are and where they came from.
Yeah.
They're fascinating.
So X-Files has 9 seasons.
9 seasons?
Yeah, and then there was
also enough.
And then there was a movie the first feature film was filmed during a hiatus between the 4th and 5th season. And then I Want to Believe came out after the show ended, it looked like. So that's what it looked like happened there. And then there's a possible third film's in the talks.
I smell cookies.
Are they good?
They smell delicious. So how about we wrap this up?
do they smell like cookies and apple pie just together?
Yes.
I can't. I'm going to be standing by my mailbox for the next week and a half, just with a fork and a knife, just a little handkerchief tucked in to use as a bib. Just. Yeah, no, your wife messaged me. She commented on the post she made. She said she's going to send some cookies, yummy cookies for Liam too. So that'll make him
probably
happy.
Send a big box.
I don't think this actually matters to the viewers. Maybe we should talk about this when we go off air. But
I figure we can
not getting cookies. We're getting cookies. I was so excited when you texted me. You're like, dude, my wife's making cookies for us today, and then you put like 6 smiley faces, and I'm like, I'm sitting there, and I just go, woohoo, and my wife goes, Drew, what are you doing? It's like, I'm getting cookies. It's like, she had no idea, but no, you guys are sending us cookies, so she's gonna make like a pillow for like your couch, or like a pillow or blanket for summer or something, and send it to you guys. We're gonna go to the fabric store when I get my check next week, and we're gonna go pick out some good materials. So
we're gonna wrap this up with our hat tips of the week, and if you guys watching, we have a bunch of open slots for future episodes. If you have any ideas of like a sci-fi tech kind of show, suggest it to us. If you want to see a show dedicated or an episode dedicated to a certain sci-fi show, let us know. We're gonna talk about it.
Go to our Teklian blog page. You'll see a schedule up there, and you'll see where we have empty spots. I think we have 3 empty spots still.
Yeah, we got 3 so far.
One of them is for the week after next, so we really need to fill that one quickly.
Yeah.
That one is coming up. And then we're almost done with this season. We've decided that we're going to do 20-episode seasons, so we're going to kind of split our show into seasons, and then we're going to take a break. So how long of a break were you thinking?
Maybe 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
I don't want to do a sci-fi kind of break.
Yeah, I don't want to either. It's just
if we did our seasons like Sci-Fi does, then we would still be on episode 4, because we would have done maybe 4 episodes, and then we would have been off for like 6 months.
No, they do this thing now where they'll do like 4 episodes, or they'll do like 3 episodes, and then they'll be like, we're going to take 2 weeks off. It's not a break. We're just taking 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
And we'll do 3 more episodes, and then we'll go on our 6-month break.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll do 3 more episodes, and we'll take another 2 weeks off just to take it easy, and then we'll do 3 more episodes and another 6-month break. It's like, Barrowman.
I do that all the time now. My assistant at work does that all the time too.
My wife doesn't know what I'm doing, but whenever something happens, I'm like, Barrowman, and she's like, what are you doing? It's like, you don't know.
Barrowman.
I'll let you do your hat tip.
All right. I'm not going to put up my lower third because I don't feel like it. I want cookies.
Lazy bum.
Our show, we do what we want. My hat tip, I do what I want. My hat tip, maybe I'll edit in later. It's Starship Dimensions. I've been seeing these little charts being passed around a lot. It's like, these are size comparisons of different sci-fi ships. And there's this website, it's called merzo.net, merzo.net. And I'm going to post a link below, above, over there, I don't know. It's going to be somewhere. And there's different pages for different like size comparisons, and you can compare the size of sci-fi ships from many different series. If you were ever interested in, here's another heated debate that always happens: the Death Star from Star Wars versus the Enterprise from Star Trek. Who would win? Well, you can go to this website and you can see that the Enterprise is about this big compared to that big. So it's like, if you want to think of a Stargate ship versus a Farscape ship or something like that, you can go to this website and you can compare the sizes. If you're wondering, how big is that ship? And some of them you may realize are actually very, very tiny, much smaller than you thought. Some of them are extremely massive.
It sounds pretty interesting. I want to check it out and see like particularly Stargate ships. I want to see where they measure up in the scheme of things, because I get really confused about that sometimes, because it seems like their scale is off in some episodes. Like, for instance, with the Prometheus, the first episode of the Prometheus, when it's taking off, like, it has a person as it's coming up out of its hold, standing there watching it, and it looks like a speck next to the ship. It looks like the ship is literally like 15 stories, 20 stories maybe.
Yeah.
Or bigger. And then there's other times when you see it scale next to a building or something, and it really doesn't look 15, 20 stories anymore. So I kind of would like to see how that would scale up using that.
If you're using, which I don't suggest, but if you're using Internet Explorer, you can actually click and drag and move some of these things around and put them side by side. And
yeah. Do what else you could do? You could use Chrome with IE tab extension.
Yeah, I have to test that, see how that works. But
I'm not going to even open Internet Explorer on my computer. I'm not even going to open it. The thing that sucks is IE tab doesn't work for Linux, so you'd still have to be on a Windows computer or Mac, which really upsets me about Linux, because I was talking to someone on Google Plus. They made a post and I was trying to help them out. They have a Chromebook, and they're talking about how they have to log into this portal, like online portal thing for the schoolwork, and they're like, it only works with IE or Mozilla, and Chrome is only, the Chromebook is only Chrome. And they're like, I don't know how to do my schoolwork now. I bought my Chromebook for school, and I told them to try, there's also a Mozilla tab. It's called something else. It's like a Firefox experience. I don't know, something stupid. And I told them to try that and the IE tab, but neither one worked in Chromebook, because Chromebook is based on a Linux kernel. So that really upsets me that there are actually extensions for Chrome that won't work on a Chromebook, which is pure Chrome. It's like, so I kind of felt bad for her, because she bought her like Chromebook for school and she loves it. She was telling me how much she loves her Chromebook, and she can't use it for school because she needs to log into some online portal thing for certain classwork. But yeah, I got a new lower third.
I see that.
Just testing out our show. We do what we want. That's our new slogan.
It should be. It's our show. We do what we want.
Teklian Live, our show. We do what we want.
So shut up.
And some of it we just won't tell you about, because you might report us to the authorities. That's a fib. Don't go thinking we do bad stuff, because we are very, very obedient of the set laws in place.
But if you want to go back and watch every episode to make sure of it, go for it.
And while you're at it, going back and making sure we're abiding by the law in all those episodes, subscribe and share. Just subscribe and share.
As the Teklian Dance says.
Subscribe and share. There we go.
We got a little bounce in it now. Hey, there it is.
It's like the chicken dance. It's Teklian style.
It's Teklian Dance. It's Teklian
and
Dance.
I am not prepared this week. I didn't choose a hat tip because I didn't really know what to do, because it's a sci-fi episode. We're recommending sci-fi shows, so I don't want my hat tip to be like
a sci-fi show.
Because that's what the show is. The show is on sci-fi shows. And originally I was going to do that, and I kind of spent this whole episode thinking about what I should do for my hat tip, and I couldn't come up with anything. But now I did. My hat tip is going to be... It just happened because I can't think of anything else, so I am pulling something out of my brain and giving it to you.
You're pulling it out of your hat.
Take it. I don't want it anymore. My hat's been on backwards this whole time. I just noticed I took it off, my tag's in the front. I'm like, wait a minute. Turn it around.
Didn't even notice.
This is not a good hat tip, but it is a hat tip. And it's for either your choice. It's actually a choice hat tip. The third or the fourth Doctor's sonic screwdriver. You can find it on Amazon, and the only reason I'm giving this as a hat tip is we've talked before about other Doctors, and they get all the way. I don't think I've ever met anyone who says that they have the third and fourth Doctors, like a sonic screwdriver toy. And that's why my hat tip is go get it. Be that person. Be that person who can be like, oh, you have the 11th Doctor? Well, so do a million other people.
Yeah.
Show me someone that has the third Doctor sonic screwdriver. Show me someone that has the fourth. And they are available on Amazon. They're like $35 a piece, but you can be that person. Because I have not met... I think I've met one person on Google Plus who had them all.
I have all of the new ones. I have like Rivers, the 10th Doctor. I have 3 different versions of the 11th Doctor.
You have the screwdriver one?
Yeah, I have the one that flicks open. a little toy. And then I have the one that actually comes apart and you can use it like a screwdriver. And then I have a what's the other one? The one that's pieced together from the 11th Doctor pieces for the build your own.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I have. I had my first one that I got was only because it was cheap. It was like $13, and it was the torch, and it's the 11th Doctor's screwdriver, but it's really small, and you press the thing on the back, and it like emits a green light, but it's pretty bright. It's like LED.
Oh yeah.
And I have a picture up on Google Plus of Liam holding it when he's like a week old.
And it probably looks like normal size.
Yeah, in his hands. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I got the one that you had, that one that flicks open.
Yeah.
And I customized the hell out of that one. I set it so that whether it was open or closed, I could still use the button on the
that's
thing.
what I do with mine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I did. But then I removed the clip so that I could flick it open rather than having to hit the switch. Like in the show, he flicks it.
Yeah.
And then after doing that, I took it apart, and I plan on using the battery in the center and stuff to build my own sonic screwdriver. It's like metal and heavy and mine. But no, that's my hack tip. Be that guy who can say, I have the 3rd Doctor's, I have the 4th Doctor's sonic screwdriver. Because everybody has the 10th. Everybody has the 11th. A bunch of people have the DIY and the transtemporal.
Transtemporal, yeah, I have those.
The Masters, Laser, Rivers, Sonic. I mean,
I have Rivers. I was thinking about getting the Masters, but...
Oh, you don't have the Masters Laser?
No.
Oh, you don't have all the new ones. You lied to us. Go away. You're not a Teklian anymore. Actually, I think you still deserve to be a Teklian, figuring you have all of them but that one. But no, I wanted to get Rivers for my wife. I'm excited. I'm not related at all, but ComicCon's coming up. I'm going this year. It's going to be my first one. I still can't decide what I want to be. My wife made her own costume. She's going to be that woman from Batman. What's her name? Like the Joker's fangirl.
Harley Quinn?
Harley Quinn, yeah. She made her own Harley Quinn costume. It looks really good. She took like a black outfit and like put a whole bunch of red on it and stuff, and it looks really good. It's clearly Harley Quinn, but it's not like any of her official designs, but it's still clearly Harley Quinn, so it's really awesome.
Yeah.
I still know what I want to be. Like I wanted to be the 4th Doctor originally just because you don't see that too often, but my favorite Doctor is the 2nd Doctor, and then you recommended be the 19th Doctor, be the 17th Doctor, make up your own. Just wear what you want and be like, well, on this Doctor, how do you know this is not how he's going to look?
Yeah.
I came from the future to visit this Comic-Con.
Be the, like a distant future, like 18th Doctor, like I said, and just wear your bowler hat in a bathrobe. Be like, the Doctor's so old, he just doesn't give a shit anymore.
A fucking cane, my bathrobe, my bowler hat. I'll wear like a stained, a dirty T-shirt, be like, what's up?
Get off my lawn, Dalek!
5 o'clock shadow, or like I'll have like a 1 week shadow, 1 week without shaving, just
on one side. To be like, but Doctor's so lazy. He was in the middle of shaving, and then the universe needed to be saved. With a sonic cigar.
A sonic cigar.
There you go.
And a monocle.
Quantum monocle.
Life is not complete unless there's a monocle involved in everything.
Everything.
So that sort of wraps it up for this episode. Did I ever show you Teklian's my coasters? I love my coaster set.
Coasters that look like books?
Yeah, it's like a bookshelf. 2 of them are being used right now, but it's like books. And
that's awesome. You sent me a picture a long time ago. But...
Yeah, I was gonna do it when I was gonna do. We were gonna do like the Teklian reviews and stuff, and I was gonna do the first one like on my desk because I figured, hey, you're doing a phone mount, I'll do a computer mount. Yeah. And then I had all sorts of problems with my phone camera. I didn't have any other camera to use, and then my phone broke. This is my phone right now. This is the glass screen. This is the glass screen to it, the back plate, the battery, and then this is the actual like phone with the digitizer. And I took it all apart before I put the back thing back on. But I was so pissed because the digitizer was perfect. Like all the cracks were in the screen. There was not one crack on the digitizer. And I took it apart. I was like, why won't? Because it's not like it was blurry. It's not like the image was all smudged or anything. It was just black. It was nothing. So I took it apart and it was still connected. Everything was fine. So I had no idea what was wrong. So I smashed the digitizer.
There you go. Does that work?
There we go.
Does it work now?
No. Now when I turn it on, first off, I did something to the microphone. There's no sound anymore. But now when I turn it on, now it is all colors and weird. And so it actually made it stop showing up again because I smashed it. It's like it's all cracked up here, down here. It's like all removed. It's all messed up now. But I still don't get why it was just black. I checked everything. Everything was connected correctly. I took it all apart. put it all back together quickly. I watched like 30 different videos. I did it exactly to the T how it's supposed to be. It died. But that's what you get with Sam crap.
Sam suck.
Sam suck. Bullshit.
I won't buy them anymore. I stay away from them.
Yeah, I think the only time I might ever buy a Samsung again is if I really wanted to just waste money, which I would have to be rich to do, and I would get like a Note, not to be like my main driver, but from going on trips and stuff, just because how big the battery is and the screen value, size, and everything. But other than that, I cannot see myself ever using Samsung as a daily driver.
But then you'd probably want to root it and put a custom ROM so you're not using TouchWiz.
Yeah, that's what I hate the most about TouchWiz, but also the Samsung in general. Just their hardware. But I think I was telling you when the screen first went black and I couldn't get to work, I was taking it apart and I was watching the video and there were things not put together correctly. I was finding in my phone. I was like, okay, so this isn't even connected at all. The 4G wire was fused to the motherboard where it's supposed to be free, and I was like, so they did a great job putting this together. But the only time I think I can ever see myself using willingly and happily a Samsung device is if Google chooses to use them to make the Nexus 10. And even then, if you research the Nexus 10, you will find so many great reviews on the software, so many great reviews on stock Google, so many great reviews on the screen, and then all bad reviews on the Samsung hardware.
Exactly. That's why I really want a new tablet, but I have no interest in the Nexus 10 because it was made by Samsung.
You will find people complaining about the thing popping off in the back randomly. You'll find like how they hear a clicking noise if they hold it the wrong way, and it's like everything else runs perfectly. Like they're all like it's wicked fast, it's wicked speedy, but it feels so cheap in your hands, and it's like that's because it's Samsung.
Yeah.
So we'll see what goes on with that. There's no definite rumors yet. I've heard just as many rumors that it's still going to be Samsung as I have heard that Asus is going to make the new N10. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah. Which I have a bad experience with Asus with my Transformer Prime.
Yeah.
It's down here and it's completely useless. Hard bricked. Might as well use it as a cutting board. Might be able to be good enough for that.
Yeah. Poor thing. You must be like really missing having a tablet.
Yeah.
Because I never had a tablet before, so I don't know what it is to miss. But now that you've probably become accustomed to like when you're at home using your tablet as opposed to the phone, right?
Oh yeah, it was like my media device. That's where I like I always say, nobody ever needs a tablet, but when you have one, it's like scrolling. Like if I'm going on websites are so much better. Full screen, the desktop version.
Yeah, it
Google
shows like
Plus.
desktop version.
Yeah,
right?
like
if you
go to a website on your phone or something, you get the mobile version. You can go to desktop version, but then you've got a smaller screen. And going to desktop on a tablet is so much more natural, and clicking links and
does it
going on
automatically
Google
do desktop on a tablet or no?
In Chrome, you're supposed to be able to check a
box to automatically do it.
Yeah, but I've never actually seen it work. Every time I do that, I always have to find the actual desktop version link on that website to load the desktop.
Because when I've seen tablets, I've seen a lot of screenshots where like it shows it actually has tabs on the top just like you would in your browser. Where if you're using it mobile, you don't get that. You have to hit the little button to show your tabs.
Yeah, that was another thing I loved. I can just easily tap the exact tab of what you can press and hold and rearrange your tabs. And there's a little X so you can close your tabs just like you would in the regular Chrome browser.
Because really, like I see a tablet as a perfect thing to have for at home or like somewhere where you're going to go where you know you're going to be there for a while and you have Wi-Fi. And I see the phone as more something to get done when you need to get done when you're out and on the go.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not one of those people who are really invested in the whole, I want a 5-inch screen, I want a 5.5-inch screen phone. Like, I'm kind of a little bit upset that the rumors are saying that Nexus is going 5-inch because, like, I like the smaller screens. I like it being comfortable to use with one hand because that's how I use my phone. I plan on getting a tablet for the big stuff.
Yeah, my Nexus 4, the size of the screen is, I would even prefer slightly smaller. I would prefer, like, even 4.5 would be fine. But a 5-inch screen is just too much.
Yeah. 4.3, 4.5 for me is like an ideal screen.
Yeah.
But that 4.7 is that, right? Because I know the S3 is at 4.7. That's 4.7 too, right?
Yeah, that's 4.7.
Even now, when I'm reaching and I'm holding my right hand and I have to reach for that top left corner, it's always like, I usually need to use two hands to get it.
That's what she's saying.
Yeah, she always needs to use two hands.
She's always saying things.
Right.
We're
done with this.
So we're ready to end, and we have Root Ramen Recovery coming up next week.
We're really excited for that episode. If you guys want to be a guest in that episode, anybody watching this, let us know by Saturday, preferably today or tomorrow, but by Saturday.
We need
because
time.
We had a lot of fun the times we've had guests so far, and we'd love to have some more. So
definitely.
If you want to be a guest to that, we're going to do it. It's going to be like all Android dedicated, probably some Apple bashing. So if you like Apple, you're probably not watching our show because you suck. But if you like Android, we root Ron more cover. Catch that episode next week. No, my headphones. I can't hear you.
Do you hear me?
Okay, I'm good. I can hear you now.
Did you hear what I said though?
I did not.
Oh well, you missed out. It was a one-time thing. Your headphones shouldn't have fallen out.
I'll go back and catch it later.
I'm gonna edit it out.
Oh, you're gonna edit? I'll watch it before you edit it.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, fuck you. That's so mean. I thought I missed something important.
I do that to my assistant sometimes. We're at work and she has her headphones in. I'll just turn to her and be like, and then she takes her headphones out. And she's like, "What?" I was like, "I'm not repeating all that."
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so mean. It's awesome. Oh, all right. So we're done for this week, guys. So obviously the thing you should y'all do is we're gonna end this on-air thing, and you should restart and watch it again. And then you should
keep in mind that the pitch shifts up one semitone, so we're all gonna sound like chipmunks.
And then when we edit it, it'll pitch down one semitone. But we're gonna remove this version when the edited version is up or whatever. So you'll still be able to watch. Just remember, we sound like chipmunks. And I wonder if we sound like chipmunks now as if they're watching it live.
That's what I wondered.
Does it still raise it one semitone? Because that's really weird how when we use Hangouts on Air, we always have to lower it to...
Mm-hmm.
Because like, when I record...
I hear you fine right now.
One semitone. Yeah, I hear you fine, but then when I watch it later, I'm like, everything's just a little bit higher.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. That's what I want to know, if when people are watching the live stream, if it's shifted up live, or if it's just some weird wackiness that happens once it's uploaded and saved and whatever.
So subscribe and share. That is our new motto. Subscribe and share.
We have a couple of mottos.
I'm going to update our show. We do what we want.
Yeah, subscribe, share, comment. I immediately regret that decision.
Oh, it didn't fit. Hold on.
That's what she said.
There we go. There you guys go. That is my new lower third. Subscribe and share. Our show, we do what we want, which is why I'm calling you all a bitch. All of you. Every single one of you except for you. All right, you're not a bitch either. But the rest of you... You know what? No, I'll let you go. You're just an ass. Douche. All right.
That's another Breaking Bad thing, another Breaking Bad reference, how he always ends things with bitch.
Oh, does he?
I don't know if you've seen enough of that, but my wife and I make references to him. He always says, like, yo. He's always like, 50-50 partners, yo. My wife
says that? The guy he teams up with? The kid?
Yeah, Jesse Pinkman.
Yeah, I'll probably notice it later on now you pointed it out.
It's funny. Like, every episode, he's always all... He'll be yelling at someone, and then he's all, bitch. It's hilarious. My wife and I make references to that. I left work late the other day. She texts me. She's all, where you at, yo?
Alright, well, we'll see you bitches later. And now we're going to leave you with our Teklian Dance.
I think you're doing the wrong dance there.
Oh, I do that a lot. There's so many dances. Cause I am like, you know, Dancing with the Stars. I am the star. So, you know, I get mixed up sometimes which dance I'm doing.
We're gonna edit that later. I might even just delete all of that. Hat tip. One more hat tip.
Get dual monitors. Dual monitors are amazing.
You're supposed to tip your hat.
That's it. Oh no, my shaved head. What the hell happened here? I cut my hair. It was getting... I hate when my hair gets even a little bit long where it's like touching in between my ear. And I just have to like...
Shave your whole head. It's the only solution.
It was driving me so crazy. And I was like, my anniversary is coming up and I'd rather go the extra mile and get stuff for my wife than go get a fucking haircut for $13. So I was like, can you help me do a haircut? But I had already bought her anniversary gift and gave it to her a day early. It was Grand Theft Auto 5, so she really wanted that game. So I was just like, fine, if you want to help me, I'll just do it myself. And I just... See, there you go. It's actually I made it like blend in. It's actually one level shorter here than here. Here it's like I did just bare, and then here I did a half step. So it's like it's a little bit not completely bald.
But at
It'll
least
grow
you
back.
match your hat now.
Yeah.
I don't want to match my hat. My hair, top hat hair, does not look very good.
So I'm sorry. I'm on Google Plus right now, and this post I commented on like 2 days ago was about like the Chromecast, and some girl made it, that lives in New York, and you know how you get those people from like with those names that make it sound like they're from like the Middle East or something sometimes, or like obviously fake profiles.
Yeah.
And they either spam you or they say like really weird shit. Like this one, just like he just commented on his thing. He's like, "I love you," so I'm gonna post a picture of. Well, that escalated quickly.
Yeah.
From let me see if I can find a GIF.
I got one of those people with a weird ass name. I got one of them trolling my posts.
Yeah, let me see if I can find what the name was. It was like...
I don't want to say it on here. I don't want to give them that.
Yeah, I can't even pronounce it. That's how...
We'll just call them croissant.
Yeah.
They are a little piece of bread. A little crumb. Let's end this show. We're way off topic. The show is...
All right.
This episode was over like 45 minutes ago.
Alright, we'll see you guys later.
One more hat tip.
Woo. We're out, bitches. Yo.
Subscribe and share, yo.